All right, let's check out last week's Pizzo Impulses.
Must we?
You got off to a tough start. Indiana, yikes. Northwestern ran wild over Michigan. Iowa, a tough L at home to Purdue.
Yeah, I thought I had a chance there.
And then, by the skin of your teeth, Matt McGloin.
I needed 240. He had 234. There was under 20 seconds to play left in the game, but I knew Zach Zwinak would do this for me. Check him out, breaking tackles. He needs to save some face for Rick Pizzo. There's 6, that's 240. Wipe the sweat off my brow.
I mean, you were glued to the television there, getting those last couple of yards.
I mean, nothing is worse than getting swept, and I avoid the sweep going 1-3. We're going to try to do a little bit better this week. Let's start with the Michigan and Iowa game. Devin Gardner has been a revelation in replacement of Denard Robinson. 7 total touchdowns last 2 games. I don't think that stops this week against Iowa. My impulse tells me, and I have no rolled up paper today, so you can guarantee this is not going to work, that for the 3rd straight game, Gardner goes for at least 3 touchdowns.
And Tim, I'm not quite sure if I should agree with him from his
Can you
lack
roll that?
of success.
Are you rolling that up for me?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Send it over for the next one.
Struggling with
Send it over for the next one.
The lack of success last week, but I actually am going to agree with this one. I think what Devin Gardner has shown the last couple of weeks, he's looked very comfortable as a starting quarterback after playing the entire season at wide receiver. Michigan has to like what they're getting out of their backup quarterback.
Rack, if he gets the minutes, meaning if he's a starting quarterback, he's going to get to this number. So I agree with Rick. Now, Denard Robinson, I feel if he comes back, he should be automatically inserted into the starting QB role. I know you guys probably disagree up here, but if Gardner's out there, he'll get the touchdown.
This feels so much better.
I was going to say.
That being said, you can lock up this second impulse. Still quarterbacks. Trevor Siemian has thrown 7 or 8, I should say, total attempts in the last 2 games. But Kane Coulter's a little banged up. Siemian looked so good last week. My impulse tells me Trevor Siemian throws it at least 8 times against Michigan State.
I'm going to disagree just because the paper's back. No, I think Siemian and Coulter, we thought they could kind of coexist with one another, but I think as the season has worn on, I think Coulter is their guy. Now, if Coulter doesn't play, well, then I think that's going to come true. But if I had to put my money on it today, I would take that he's not going to throw 8 passes.
You know, I think I'm going to agree with Rick again on this one. I'm not quite sure about the health with Kane Coulter, but we all know that he has got to be on the field and he has to touch the football a lot if Northwestern wants a chance to win a football game. But Siemian has shown throughout the season that he's got the ability to do it. It just all depends.
Siemian. I mean, you love
all depends
Siemian.
on the health of Kane Coulter.
I mean, you love Siemian.
In relief last week, Siemian 6 of 7, 2 touchdowns on just 7 pass attempts. Well, Donnell Kirkwood Jr. from Minnesota, heading into last week's game, had gone 101 carries without a touchdown. That was the longest such streak in the Big Ten. Scored twice for the Gophers against Illinois, and I think we have a little snowball effect here. Impulse tells me, despite facing a tough Husker defense, Kirkwood scores at least 1 more rushing TD in this one.
He's been running hard and running with a purpose, so I'm going to agree with you, Rick. I think that Minnesota's offense just looks better. They're opening up more holes. Just their quarterback situation has been kind of muddied throughout this year. They've gone with a lot of different guys. One steady guy has been Kirkwood really this entire season.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with this one, too. I think if Minnesota wants a chance to win or stay in the ball game, Donnell Kirkwood and Roderick Williams have got to run the ball extremely well, just like they did last weekend against Illinois. I understand this is an Illinois defense that has not been playing well. Nebraska has been playing much better. But if Minnesota wants to stay in this ball game, they're going to have to run the football and run it well.
And finally, Wisconsin-Ohio State in a game Tim Doyle says the Buckeyes have, what was it? No chance in.
Yeah, maybe aggressive, but I don't think they're going to win.
Backing off the original statement, at any point, I believe, regardless of who wins, it's going to be a high-scoring game. Ohio State had scored at least 29 in every game except 1 this season. That streak continues. The Buckeyes score at least 29 against the Badgers for the 10th time in 11 games.
I feel the best about this one. I agree with this one. Ohio State has an extra week to prepare. As long as they don't come out slow, which they've had the tendency to do this season, I think this one is a no-brainer lock. They score well over 30 points.
Wisconsin has won their Big Ten games by an average of 25 points a game. And their 3 losses this year only by a combined 9 points.
That's because they just beat Indiana by 100.
I thought their defense looked the best it had all season long. I think they slowed down the Buckeyes. I think Ohio State, let's kind of break down their schedule a little bit. They've been winning a lot of games late, kind of figuring out ways to win games. But right now, I think both you guys, you're suspect. I think Wisconsin wins that game.
We'll see how the paper does. This was not my paper this week. It was officially Tim Doyle. So if I go 0-4, we shall know the reason why.